create the rooms. Just a minute, okay? If you have any doubts, then you can say it now if you want. Is anyone here for the first time, or everyone here?
I'm here for the first time.
Victoria also. So welcome, guys. I hope you enjoy TNT. If you have any doubts, you can just ask for help. And you'll see it's very fun, and we are going to have a nice conversation. Just a minute now that I'm going to create the rows. Okay, guys, so see you. So I think we can start presenting ourselves. We are going to stay here in the main room. So can you start down, please? Present yourself and tell us what is your favorite hobby and why.
So hello everybody, I'm Valvo. I'm from Belo Horizonte. I'm 34 years old. I'm a doctor and I enjoy a lot being here on TNT. I think nowadays TNT and learning English, this process is my favorite hobby that I discovered during the pandemic and I'm enjoying a lot.
Great. And you, Fernanda?
Well, I'm Fernanda, as you can see. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Salvador, Bahia. I'm a professor, but I'm also just a student yet. So I'm a student of Portuguese, our language, our native language, actually. And I guess one of my favorite hobbies recently is to read. Actually, I really like to. It has been helping me through these days. And also, I like to do aerial silk. I don't know if you guys are familiar too, but it's kind of a sport that you get up in a fabric, and it's kind of aerial dance, but it's one of the things I like to do. And I guess it's a hobby too.
And do you have one of it at your home?
No, it's not at my home. It's on Pelourinho. I don't know if you guys have heard too, but it's a really famous place here in Salvador, and it has a better structure, and anyway, a comfort place to do it and more safe too.
Yeah, very good. I love it. And you, Mari?
I'm Mai, and currently I live in São Paulo. I'm a biotechnology engineer, and I work with medical education. My hobbies. I think my favorite hobbies are wines. So I really like study about it, and bitcoins or bitcoins. I don't know how I say it.
Very good, guys. So I think my favorite hobby is listening to music because it's the thing that I do the most. But I also love practicing exercises. So I try to do it then like every day, but not always I can do this. But I used to swim as well. But since the beginning of the past year, I'm not swimming and I'm missing this a lot. I'm having trouble to find a cheap swimming pool to go in São Paulo, but I'm looking for it, and the pandemic kind of make everything more difficult. So this is on my plan for this next year and when the pandemic ends. But I kind of like very much swimming. And the first question is, do you take time out of your day to do something you enjoy, or do you usually think that you don't have enough time for that? Mari, you look like a office girl that you work a lot.
Yeah.
How is having time
I'm a
for your
little
hobbies?
workaholic. Little workaholic. I'm working until you start the class, but okay. So I try every day to study a little of other subjects. Why? I don't know. But I don't have time. So I don't know. I need to split. I need to split my day or use part of my weekend to do it.
Yeah, I understand. And you, Down, how is that for you?
Usually before pandemic start, the time that I took to myself was the evening. Usually I'd like to go to the gym, to run or swim there. But since pandemic started, I stopped doing that. And now the things are opening here in Belo Horizonte, but I think I get used to the lazy life, and it's been hard for me to get out of the sofa again and start to do something. It's more comfortable being here talking in English on TNT. And but usually I had when my life was normal before pandemic, I usually took this time in the evening because it was something that helped me to get all the stress out of me, the stress that I create during the day. But I think I changed a little bit. Today, I use more the TNT, watch some videos on YouTube as this way of think about something else that's not related to disease or pandemic. So I'm liking now too, but I wish to return to my old life as soon as possible.
Yeah, now you have different hobbies and you have to
Yeah.
like match them all to your routine, right? Difficult, but very good. And you, Fernando? Sorry, I'm living in São Paulo now, and there people just call each other by the first syllable of the name. And I'm
Yeah,
getting
that's
used to
really
that.
funny because here people used to call me like Nanda, but people from the south or I don't know part of the country used to call me Fe, and I found that funny. But anyway, I guess in the beginning of the pandemic, my routine was really messed up. I was spending all my day in front of a screen because I'm studying through it, I'm working through it. So after a few months, I started to feeling bad about it. So I tried to put some hobbies as kind of obligation to do it. So I try to wake up and do like a 10 minutes meditation, to do some exercises during the day, even though it's like a 15-minute yoga in a day that is more rushing. So I try to put these little things as a moment to myself, as a moment where I can breathe, where I can get out of the screen and do something that makes me feel good after. So I put this as a priority nowadays. So I think that's good.
Yeah, very good. And actually, I did the same, exactly the same. Like now, during the pandemic, I start exercising every day. I didn't used to do this before, but I felt that it was like an obligation for me because I was not going out for anywhere and not walking anymore. So I kind of felt this necessity of working out and moving my body in any way. And now I don't see myself going to the gym or wherever anymore. Like I like to do exercise at home. And that's funny because I have never imagined myself doing this, but I'm liking, so that's what's it's important for me now.
And after you end it, you feel so good, you feel so
Yeah.
energized, and it's actually a good feeling to have it in
Yeah.
difficult times. So it's a good thing.
Exactly. And do you think your work or your study, if you are still studying, consume more of your day than you wanted to? Or it's okay, it's balanced? How is it for you, Fernando?
Well, I think it actually, I don't know, it consumes more of what I want, but it's a process. Like I'm still in college, so I have to give that focus on that part of my academics relation, but I'm also have to develop this experience as a teacher, etc. So are important things in my life, and I cannot reduce, I guess, this time that I spend every day. So it consumes a lot, but it's also good things that I'm actually enjoying doing. So I guess it compensates, it equilibrates a little bit.
This is good. This is very good. And for you, Mari?
I think that the pandemic situation make the work and the studies more critical, because you cannot divide your time, because if you work at your home, you are in the same space all day, so it's very easy. You start work at 8 o'clock and spend all day in this.
Yeah.
And, but I think it's an exercise when
Yeah, of
when
course.
it's to put ah, uma barreira, como que eu falo?
What? Sorry.
It's necessary to put a limit.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Johnny, hello. Are you there? Johnny, are you listening? I'm going to send you to other room because we are full here, okay? But you can present yourself there. I don't know if you were at the beginning of the meeting. Were you here already or not?
I think I saw Johnny in
Yeah.
the beginning.
I think I remember this name, but I don't know if he's listening to us. I'm going to send him to the room that he was. But I don't think he's going to. Let's keep going, guys. Down, I think it's your turn.
So the second question, right?
Yeah.
Well, where I will talk about my old life. Then, as I work too much and I could go wherever I want to go, usually I try to I don't know how to say, to reserve some hours during my day to spend in something that I like to do. Usually was in that time that I would like to go to the gym, for example. And in the weekends, it was the time that I spend more time watching some series on Netflix or watching some videos on YouTube. But I think that I worked a lot in that time, and there was a lot of things that I would like to do, but I couldn't do because I didn't have this time. And during the pandemic, as I had more time in home, I could start doing some things that I didn't. There was a long time that I didn't do. For example, studying English. I like to cook, and I could cook in this time too. And so I think maybe in the future, when the pandemic is over, I would have more trouble uh, to fit all these things together in my new life, because I don't know, I don't think that I would like to give up on some of these things anymore.
Yeah.
I think it will be harder in the future.
Yeah. And I think you brought up an interesting topic, because I also discovered a lot of new hobbies during the pandemic, because I think when we are at home, like we were looking for things to do, and staying at home for a long time made me try harder to look for different things to do. So I discovered that I like cooking, and I have never had this interesting before. And I think it's interesting because I think I rediscover myself, I found other things that I have never imagined that I was liking. I like and I love it. It's one of my hobbies. And as you, I think I'm going to have trouble when I return my routine of going out and having a lot of compromisos. I forgot the word. Out of home. But it's funny to think about that. Do you guys discover? Yeah, appointments. Great, thank you. Do you guys have discovered a lot of new and different hobbies? Fernanda and Mari.
I tried building a garden, but it's not work. I'll plant them.
I also start liking plants, and now I have like a forest in my home. It's not fitting anymore. I have no space for more. And you, Fernanda?
Oh, well, I actually tried to do a transition to veganism during the pandemic. So I started to having a really different relationship with cooking. So I started to like and experimenting new things and doing new things. So that was a thing that I developed this pandemic. And also I really started to enjoy more doing things that I used to like, but didn't have time enough to do it, or didn't have the motivation enough to do it, like embroidery and painting and this kind of drawing. Anyway, this kind of things that we do in some moment of our life and we let it go. So I kind of returned to do those things, and it's really pleasant for me.
Yeah, for me too. I love that. And hello, Manu. Are you listening to us?
Hi, sorry. I'm late.
No, don't worry. So if you can please just present yourself quickly for us. Like tell your name and how did you discover TNT, or where are you from?
And I am Emanuele. I am 18 years old and I like cats. And I am Brazilian.
Great, and we are talking about hobbies, Manu, today, and I'm going to send again the questions. And the first thing I want to know from you is, what is your favorite hobby?
Um,
Enjoy doing.
it's reading. I am in love with it.
Very good. We have other person here who loves reading, right, guys? So Manu, I sent the questions again, and we are answering the number 3 from now. So the question number 3 is, we fail to see the value in the purposeful distraction. Why do you think it's important to put hobbies as part of our routine? And what are the main benefits of having a hobby? I think we kind of discussed this a little bit here, right, guys? And I don't know, first, do you agree with this sentence? Like, we fail to see the value in the purposeful distraction? I mean, we fail to see the value in doing our hobbies and making them as an important part of our day and postponing them a lot. So why do you think it's important to put hobbies as part of our routine? And even if we have a very tough routine as Mariana or everyone here, what do you think about this now?
Well, I think a hobby for me is something that you do, but you do not in order to receive a payment. It can be anything. For example, you can draw, but you are not intended to sell this piece of art that you create. But I think that we must think about something. There is people that work, and even if they wanted to have a hobby or to do something else, they couldn't because they need to work too much in order to have a life, and maybe it's difficult. Maybe they have family, they have kids to take care when they come to home. But if you have this opportunity to have this time to spend in a hobby, I think that you must enjoy a lot because it can make your life easier, make your life more you will have more pleasure life, and then I think that you must put value on this time, because it's not something that there is no importance. It's very important, this time that you spend doing something, even though this thing will not give you money, but it can give you, for example, energy and power too, that you will use in your work to give to in order to receive money. So I think that it's very important. I think we sometimes we treat hobby as something with less importance, and usually you give up of a hobby because, oh, you can think this it's not that important, it's just something that I like, and maybe you will give up of this hobby. So I think we should how is the word give value for something? Valorize?
I don't
And
know.
I
Do you know,
ever
Fernanda?
don't know this word. I want to give importance to something. So is that
To
I
value.
think
No, I don't know actually.
no, make something
But
important.
I understand. Yeah, you make yourself clear. Very good, Diamond. I totally agree with you. And what do you think, Mari?
I totally agree as well, because the hobby is your relaxed moment, reachable moment. So I think the people see the value of this time, but I think they couldn't fit this moment in your routine every day.
Yeah, and you, Fernanda?
I really agree with what the other people said, but no, I really agree. That's it. But I think that this is it. We live in the structure that puts in priority that productive, that way of being productive and being active in the whole moment of your life and the whole time. And if you're not doing something that will give money back or will develop a specific part of your work area or study area, you find it less valuable than other parts of your life. And I find it that's kind of wrong, because when you have time to develop something for yourself and enjoy something that you like, you end up having more time to take care of your psychology part, like your mental part of your life. Sometimes your healthy is way better after you develop some habits like an exercise or something like that. So I think it's really important that we see the value of those little things. I know, as Dalmo said before, that not everyone has the privilege to put time to do those kind of things, because sometimes they work in 2 different jobs and they have kids to take care of. But for the people that can do it, I think it's something really good and something that we should value more.
Yeah, I think it's a process to us to try to see the thing as we are saying here. It's not the normal, the thing that we think at first, but we have to try to think of the hobby as a thing that it's improving the other parts of our life. So it's a process, but it's very important. All the things that you bring here. And for you, Manu, do you agree with us? What do you think about this?
And I agree with Fernanda. I think hobbies have to be something we like, that rose curiosity, and that we do a little each day to fit into the routine.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, what did your hobbies teach you? Like, what did you learn because of a hobby you have? Do you have some, do you remember something that you learned because of one of your hobbies? Mari.
All investment subjects, because you need to follow several topics. The value, a bolsa de valores, I don't know what's the name in English,
I
but
forgot.
you need to know very well, and you need follow the economic topics, because all things influence in this topic. So it's very complicated and you spend time a lot.
Yeah, and you have a very different hobby, right? I tried once to to understand better about this, and it was too difficult to me. I just left behind because it was, oh my god. But it's interesting. I think when it's very interesting, but it's very hard, I think.
Yeah.
Do your friends look for you to explain, to learn how it works, and ask for help for investments or something? Do you have a lot of friends asking you to help them?
Yeah. For example, my homemate, we share investments. So I share, for example, I'm looking for an investment with this risk, and what do you think? So
Great.
we take this type of conversation. But I have an agent, a financial agent that help with
Oh, great.
this word. Yeah.
Very good. And for you, Fernanda, what your hobby teach you? What did your hobby teach you?
I guess not a lot of things as big as knowing the stock market, but I guess my hobbies have improved my, I don't know, my skills. For example, I like it a lot to read, and I think that's really nice to discover different perspectives of lives and to discover new ways of thinking some subjects that I used to think in that way. So I guess I have a lot of knowledge about stuff that I couldn't have if I wasn't reading that kind of things. And as I said, one of the things that I started to do and more in this pandemic is to cook. So I started, for example, to see vegetables as a possibility in the kitchen that I used to like so much. So I learned how to do different things and new things and tasty things with it. So I guess that's some of the little things that we start to get in our lives and to develop through the hobbies.
Yeah, and reading is interesting because it's kind of the base of almost everything. And even if we are trying to learn a new hobby, maybe we are going to learn reading. So it's very interesting to have this hobby because I think it can move you to a very biggest place, and it's better than me. You can learn a lot by reading. And for you, Manu, you like reading as well, right? As you said. How reading teach you?
I really like it. I am reading Jane Austen today.
And how do you think reading can, or other hobby, can teach you? Or what did you learn by reading or doing any other hobby that you have? Manu? Okay, so Dalmo, what about you?
Yeah, I think everything that you do, you are learning about something. For example, during the pandemic, I started to watch more YouTube, and I discovered some videos about people that travel and show the history of some place and the architecture of that place. And I could learn a lot about it. And for example, architecture is something that I was interested in the past. And as I get into college, it's run away from me. And then now, as I watch these videos and they talk about how the history of the buildings, it was something that remind me that time that I liked to learn more about it. And everything I think that we do is we are learning something. And maybe we must learn something about that hobby in order to do that thing. For example, what's the Fernanda was talking about? I didn't understand well, but is a sport that you do, that you are saying about, that you do in Pelourinho?
Yeah, it's aerial silk. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but it's like you have a fabric that has put on the ceiling, and you kind of dance with it. So you get up and you do a lot of movements and etc. And it's it.
So I learned something now. In Portuguese, how it calls in Portuguese?
In Portuguese, we say that it's tecido acrobático.
I think now I know what
Yeah.
you are talking about. There is something about that in some parties that people, they
What?
are, because I saw some parties that there is people that are on a fabric in the ceiling, but not
Yeah.
as a sport, but just as a, how can I say, they are, oh, decorating the party.
Oh, okay. Yeah, some people use just as a, I don't know, try to exercise, a way to exercise, but some people see as a sport because you can do rehearsals and do choreographies, do performances. So a lot of people see as a sport also, but I don't know if it is actually.
Very interesting. And sorry guys, I'm lost here. Is there any hobby that you always want to have but always leave it for later? Like, I always want to play the guitar, but I always leave this for later, and I have never been patient enough to, learn and keep practicing, because it's guitar, it's practicing, and I have never like keeping this in my routine. So I don't know how to play, but it was something that I always wanted. Who knows when I'm going to actually do this. But do you have any of these things? Fernando, do you have it?
Oh my God, there's so many things that I would like to do and keep as a habit, but sometimes the time actually do not makes that we can make it. And sometimes it's expensive, so we cannot invest in everything at once. But a lot of things, like I would like to start to do ceramics or to do a different kind of dance. For example, I find it so beautiful, contemporary dance. So, but here in Salvador, I never found it a place that was more accessible for me to do it. So it's one of the things that I postponed to. To play some instrument is one of the things I would like to learn too, but I've never made it through it. If who knows, someday I'll do it. But there's a lot of things I would like to learn and do as a habit.
And you know,
Oh, I don't know, but there is something that I think that's so far away from me, but maybe someday learn Chinese or Korean. I don't know how to say, because I don't know, but it will be just for fun. But as I see that I will never have this time to learn this because I wouldn't have a purpose for this. I think I don't know, I don't see myself learning. But
yeah,
something that maybe when I don't know how to use this verb. When I will be rich, quando eu for, and don't have to work anymore, maybe
yeah.
I will learn Chinese as just for fun.
Great. Learning new languages is really your thing, right? Very good. And you, Mari?
I tried to play guitar too, and I live this hope, and I think all things very manual. I cannot. I started, but I don't have patience, so I can't.
And you, Manu?
And I wish I had learned to play the guitar and volleyball, but I always failed due to lack of time. But I am currently presentation programming.
Wow.
I am enjoying this new challenge.
This is very, very useful today. I think you are going to have a lot of space in work. Okay. And guys, now moving on. Let me see. Yeah. Is physical exercising a hobby for you? And if not, do you try to put it as part of your routine to be healthier? I think I have already said this because this is part of my routine and it's really a hobby for me. But what about you, Dalmo? Is it for
Yeah,
you?
for me, it's a hobby too. It was always a hobby. I never used to do some kind of exercise to be healthier. I start to do exercise actually to trying be to control my anxiety, and then I liked it, and it I could see how makes me happy. So now I do not thinking about, actually I do thinking about mental health, as let's say this, not
Yeah.
physical health. But luckily it helps the physical health too.
Yeah, it's a combo. And you, Mari?
Yes, it's for me, and I put it in my daily routine. So every day, 6 o'clock, I wake up and I work it out.
Great. And you, Manu?
Can you repeat?
Yeah, is physical exercising a hobby for you? You put this as part of your routine? Did you listen?
Yes, and every day I wake up and read some page.
No, but it's physical exercise. Do you do exercising? Like, I don't know, you said you want to learn volleyball, but do you do other exercise?
And about 20 minutes a day I run.
Oh, great. And do you like this? It's a hobby for you, or do you do just because you think it's healthy habit?
I like because it helps to relax, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And you, Fernanda?
I guess I kind of talked about it too, but
Yeah.
I see it as Dalmo said, it's the kind of thing that makes my mental health better. So I started to do it to relax, to keep calm, to reduce that anxiety. So it became a habit, it became something that I privilege in my routine, in my daily routine. So it's now a hobby that I do it every day because it makes me feel better after all.
Yeah, this is very good, right? I love. Um, and guys, the last question. Have you ever tried no, not this one. Do you know someone who has a very different or funny hobby? Now I know Mariana, who has a very different hobby. But do you guys know like other different hobby like you do you know someone who have some different hobby as you, Mari? Because no.
I saw someday on YouTube a guy that's like to raise don't know how to say minhoca. They have like an aquarium. I don't know if the word is that, but instead of raising. I don't know the word raise. We can raise animals too. They feed
So?
the let me say em português. Ele cria minhocas. Ele tem aquário onde ele tem ninhos de minhocas e ele mostra como é o caminho das minhocas, o caminho que as minhocas fazem. Depois ele estuda o caminho. É interessante.
Caramba, esse ganhou de mim. Esse ganhou de mim.
And then they take out the minhocas and he put a material like plastic in the waves, and then he removed the earth and saw the ways that the minhocas.
Oh my God, this is very
Entenderam?
different. Yeah.
Ele tenta estudar qual é o caminho que as minhocas fazem, o ninho que elas fazem na
Yeah.
terra. It's interesting.
Is he a biologist or just?
I don't know. I think no, because he's very young. He
Oh.
must have about 20 years. I don't know if I don't know. I
He's
think
curious.
he is just a YouTuber. I think he do this to show on YouTube and to have
Oh. Yeah.
followers.
Follow. And you, Fernanda, do you know someone has?
I actually don't know anyone that has a different hobby like that, but I've also seen like YouTube videos where people construct things in the middle of the forest, for example. And I don't know if that's like a hobby, it's an activity they do because, oh, it's fun, it's different, or because it's some kind of work. It has no purpose. Sometimes it's like made of the on earth and made of woods, etc. It's like in the middle of nowhere. And they do. It's a YouTube channel. And I guess it's kind of weird thing to do in my perspective, but they do. So I find it interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Guys, welcome back. I hope you have a good conversation. Sorry, Elida, Roberto, and I forgot who was, Elineide, I think, who was just with three people in the room. I hope you have a great conversation. You have not just blackout, but someone leave the room and I don't know what happened, but I'm sure you.
That was really exciting. That was really good.
Oh, great. I'm happy that you like it, guys. We don't have many time here, but I sent to you the feedback. Please answer it and feel free to say everything you want to say. It's very important for us to know what you are thinking about the meetings. And I think the message is that I think hobbies is going to make ourselves happier and to take our minds free of our stressors. So let's spread this message. Let's embrace our hobbies and just use them to free our mind and free our bodies of stress of our daily routines. And I hope you keep coming to TNT and TNT to be a place where you can free your mind of the stressors as well. Okay. So good night, good evening, everyone. Have a nice week, and I hope I see you again next week, guys. Bye bye.